What's up, everyone?
This is Red Wine Good Time podcast. I'm gonna turn my echo off in my ears.
Shit.
Sick.
Holy crap.
That's way better.
We back, man. It's been a minute. I was thinking about before, like, when the last time was that we did an episode, and it was fucking Baltimore.
Baltimore in the RV, and we're pretty blind.
Yep, we were hammered.
I was thinking that something good happened that episode. Like, it was first nearly nudity.
Yeah, no, true. That was our first guest as well.
First surprise guest.
Did I just see you have a red wine?
I do have a red wine. Cheers.
Fuck. Cheers.
I'm gonna try and keep looking up at my camera, pretending I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm. Fuck.
This is so weird. This is so shit that we have to do it like this.
I know, but it's. If it wasn't for you saying that we should do a podcast, then I probably wouldn't have been. Probably wouldn't have done it.
Probably would have been when the quarantine was
when the
over,
quarantine's over.
Going to be next year or something like that.
Really? What do you reckon about that? I actually have no idea what's going on. So after we're done quarantining, because we had to stay, like, not leave the house because we came back from a country of like risk of like whatever.
So technically, the way I see it is, even when it's over, like our 14 days, if you don't need to leave the house, you can't leave the house, pretty much.
Fuck.
So,
because I mean, like the Scott Morrison thing, where like you can't leave or you can't like be around more than 2 people.
Yep.
That's like legit, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, I think you should be doing that anyway. Because like my parents came up and dropped some shopping off the other day. Yeah. And I was like talking to my mum through the front door. I was standing outside with her, but she was like 2 meters away, and I'm like, this is so shit. And then I was like standing a bit closer to my dad, and I'm like, if I have it, and then I give it to my parents, and then they live with my grandma.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
like,
That's gonna be your fault.
Fuck.
Do you reckon you have COVID?
I thought I did. I actually thought
you thought you did?
Because I was like,
I think you did think Jamie thought he did as well.
Well, Jamie got sick when we were on tour. And
like always, though.
Actually, do you want to start?
Oh yeah, we have to go all the way back.
Let's go back to the day after pissing in the bag. What was the next? I bought my tour pass. So the next show
Please,
after Baltimore,
because I have no fucking idea.
Baltimore was
the last
Park.
time we did. Asbury Park. Oh,
we went and got pizzas. That floor show. I didn't have any picks.
That's right.
I played with a quarter.
Doesn't matter though, because we only had to play fucking 4 songs. We had to cut 3.
That's right, yeah.
Because the sound person, I don't know why I'm holding Leah's eyebrow brush. I'm gonna put that down. The sound person like got the times wrong, or like someone printed the run times fucking way off.
Oh, is that the reason? I thought they just didn't like us and they were telling us to play less songs.
No, I think someone fucked up somewhere, and then someone came in to like wrap it up. You have like 1 song left. I'm like, Jesus. And that girl got like, that's right. That girl like ate shit on Chris's fucking pedals.
It was that Good Intentions. We were like, Circle Pit. It was
Circle Pit, no.
And then I just remember that, I don't know, I couldn't see over the crowd. So like something happened, and I just see this girl fall face down on Chris's pedals. Just like, no, she didn't even stop herself. She went poof. And I was like, I'm looking at her playing, and I'm like, she's not fucking moving.
You're like, Jake, stop. I'm looking at you. I'm like, do we just keep going?
But it was like 10 seconds. Stop. I was like, Mike, she's going to get up. All right, Jake, stop. She's not getting up. And you were just like, whoa.
Have you had to do that before?
Not. She was like out for like a good 2 seconds. Like just.
Yeah, she was kind of like whack when she came back too. I was like, you right, man? So I got a couple drinks with me, by the way, just to, you know, have a good time.
Because you're not in the room, I feel weird, and so I just drink. I'm just gonna keep drinking when I'm not doing anything.
I got a coffee. I got a Summersby apple cider. I don't know if I'm going to touch this one though, but I got this one. Leah's been raving on about this drink. It's like a Korean drink. Everyone's been fucking with it.
I've seen it.
It's called like soju or some shit.
Soju, yeah. That's like.
I haven't tasted it yet.
You remember the clear drink we drank in Japan with Little Massa?
That was shoju, wasn't it?
Yeah, shoju, the same thing. It's fucking same drink. That's what you just said.
This one doesn't have a H in it though.
Same shit. Yeah, same
That's
shit.
what I thought too. I'm like, because Leah loves it. I'm like, it tastes like shit.
I don't know. I'm drinking. I just opened this box that Kate bought for our quarantine. We haven't really been drinking, but in top company,
What's
Shiraz.
Dude, it looks like a bag of flour.
Actually, yeah. Well, it's not. It's a box. I was going to say I had a story about flour, but it's not really a story. The cat just got into our flour the other day. And then I made...
Fuck it, what's his name? Jerry. Still ruining the podcast when it's not even going.
He actually nearly died when we were away.
Oh, you told me. Okay, when we came back to your house, he had a fucking cone on his head.
Yeah, he ate like a piece of rubber, and then my powers of deduction, I think it was like a spare spacer that I had lying around, and he just must have eaten it.
Oh my god!
Asbury Park, the girl fell over. We got our set got cut.
A lot, yeah.
A lot. And then
I think I got like blind that night. I think
you did.
That
was the brewery.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we even had a rider though, did we?
No, we did. We had the 2 drinks from the bar, and they had like 9% beers, so I got like 4 9% beers for us.
I don't think I used them. I think someone just had like a pen, one of those pens there. I don't know who had it though.
Oh, Colin.
Oh, Colin.
Colin
had
one.
What was after Asbury? Because I actually can't. Like, what shows followed?
Baltimore. So after that was Philly.
That was actually good because we played there last time, and it was like on a Tuesday or some shit. And
I think it was the same night.
The first time we ever played Philly was great, and then the second time we're like, oh, it must be good again.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of a bit strange, and then this time people turned up, which was fucking sick.
Well, I think a lot of people came from that with Concho. A lot of people remembered us and came back, which was
true.
Sick.
We saw Mike, we saw Dakota, our friends from... Are they from Philly or are they from somewhere else?
Mike?
Yeah.
Mike's from Jersey, but it's like 45 minutes away.
They still live there?
They live 45 minutes.
We'd have to dox them, but...
They live 45 minutes from the venue.
Right, what's their address again?
I got it on my phone, actually. Anyway, we played Philly. I crowd surfed that night.
Yo, this ain't half bad.
Yeah.
Wow, sorry.
That was sick. I was crowd surfing, and then the security guards didn't know what I was doing because I went to jump and I fell backwards, and then they pushed me. I'm like, just push me.
Fuck, that's right. So there's like a barrier. For those of you who are like listening or watching or whatever, or weren't there, probably most of you, there was a barrier, and there was like security guards, maybe like 3, 2 or 3, and they were like the nicest security guards I've ever seen in my life. Like they loved music, they loved their job, whatever. I was
trying to remember.
And then I don't know if you tapped them on the back or something like that.
I was like, move, I'm gonna jump in the crowd, and then they just looked at me like, what are you doing?
And you
and then
jumped.
I tried to climb up the barrier, and I thought that was gonna push me up, and they just didn't do anything. So I'm like, fuck, I can't get up. I'm just like, oh, this is what it was like. I was like, what?
He finally got up there.
Yeah, he puts his hand on my ass, and then I go to jump, and then he's holding my foot. So I just laid on the crowd.
Oh, fucking hell. That's right. I tried to crowd surf the next song, and then this always happens. Someone, like, I jump right before the last chorus of Dakota. I think, like, the Biam fans are aware that's what happens. I don't know if this person was, like, a new fan or, like, hadn't seen us before. And then so, like, gets right in the zone, like, crowd surfing, like, where I'm going to jump. And I was like, everyone, come in, I'm going to jump. And I was like, fucking, what? Oh. And then I jumped. I was so determined to like jump on her and just fucking take her out.
You should do it. We should do it one day. You should just KO someone.
I have.
Once we have insurance, you should just start KOing people.
Yeah, I remember the first time I started jumping, Gibbo was like, you probably shouldn't jump. I don't think.
The next one was probably my favorite night of the whole tour, and I'm assuming yours is Boston.
Oh, dream night. Absolute dream.
That's when we got there we got there super early, remember? And we spent like the whole day just like walking around.
That's why I liked it as well, because we got to go walk for like 3 hours or something. I don't know if it was that long, but
no, it was like 4 hours. We were gone for ages. We got there at like 12, and then we didn't have to be back at the venue till like 5.
The great thing about not opening or headlining.
Yeah, no sound check, just going in rock, and that was we played fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it was hard to like for me. I can never really hear how we play. I always just judge it by like how much fun I have and how the crowd's going.
Yeah, and then
so a good set to me is like when people go off, which people were, but I couldn't. Yeah. I didn't have any fucking clue how.
That was wild. I think I crowd surfed that night. That was the better crowd surfing night for me. That was
because there was like nowhere there was no holes in the crowd anyway. Like they were right up on the stage. Yeah. And Landon, my G.
That was so funny. I was just like looking in the crowd, and then you just see this little kid on his dad's shoulders. I was like, what the hell? He's so cool.
I don't know if your mic, if I'm hearing some fuzzy stuff from your mic, but I think I'm tripping.
Fuzzy?
Like, you know when you get a text and something kind of interferes?
Oh, I had a doo-doo come up on my laptop before, a message from somebody, but I don't know.
Who knows? Who bloody knows? So after that we had. Yeah,
but do you remember that night? Like we were just.
Oh yeah, no, I remember parts now because I think partially because it's been told to me as well, but
Do you remember the sing-alongs in the?
Huh?
Do you remember? Oh yeah, you go.
After we played the set, we went up to the green room, which is like this tiny little attic that looked like a florist or some shit. I don't know.
It just looked like an attic. Just heaps of shit in there.
There's like donuts up there as well. I think I had to buy to fucking 3 of them actually.
Sleep on it. Friends bought some and then they said we could have some. So I took that upon myself as eat as many as you want.
And that's when we had that bloody random sing-along with Bearings.
That was
up there.
That was probably my top memory of tour. That it's like Flip Cup, the first tour we did with them, and then that night.
Yeah, both of Bearings. I remember, that was, I hadn't driven yet the RV, and that's the night I was like, fucking go.
You were so drunk, you're just sitting in the front of the RV, shaking the whole thing, going, let's fucking go! If we're gonna go, let's fucking go now.
And people were like, you don't even know how to drive. And I'm like, oh yeah? Took off the emergency brake. I'm like, I don't even know how I did that. I've never touched it.
So good.
And then, that's right. Then I signed, I can't remember her name, but I signed this girl's car.
Yeah.
And I just wrote,
hey,
fuck
Lucy.
you, pleb. Yeah, you can hear Lucy. She's fucking loud, hey.
Nah, it's good.
Yeah, I wrote, fuck you, pleb.
That's so good.
Oh my God.
You don't even know, you know there's footage of that. Marshall was recording that.
Oh, really?
So there's just you, and then Marshall's like, what are you doing? And you just like, I don't give a fuck. And then you walked off.
Oh my God.
So
I remember jumping on the bonnet, and then it just like, don't remember signing.
We all signed it. Like we signed in the corner where like everyone else had signed, and then you just wrote right in the middle, the biggest signature. Fuck you, pleb. Love Jatry.
Oh my God. And then so the night after that was New York City.
New York. Yeah.
And that was one where I was like, okay, Boston was like the benchmark, and now I'm like, I know nothing's gonna like compare. But then we played.
That was Gibbo's first show. Gibbo's first show of the tour.
And that was the best show I played. I was like, fuck. I was up there. I'm like, oh my God, it sounds so good.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like, for some reason I could just hear it, the perfect amount. And I was like, fuck yeah.
I think I couldn't get something happened with I think one of the pedals, because I was using Colin's pedals. I think one of his leads like fucked up, so like I was trying to figure that out right up until we went on stage, and I was like, sick, we're good to go. And I turned to my left, and Gibbo's still trying to figure out what the fuck's happening. I'm like, oh no, we're so fucked. Did you spill
like a drink like in your area as well?
Oh, that was halfway through the show. I think it was like behind me and Gibbo, and then me and Gibbo both move up and back heaps. So when I moved back, I think I kicked it against. I kicked it like I squished it between the cab and my foot, and it just went the shot up into the air, and then Colin's always like, please don't put a drink after the first show, because the first show I just wet the whole floor, and I was just like, yeah, true, I won't do that, but I did it every night. Sorry, Colin.
Lucy, can you fuck off?
Nah, bring her in.
Go away. Just that's all I can hear.
So good. Have you got the monitor on in your ears?
Yeah, I can hear everything through.
Yeah, cool.
I can hear what my mic is hearing as well.
I'm doing the same. So it's so weird. It's like when we're in the airport. But you know the latency in the headphones?
Yeah, well, we were there. Oh, is there latency in yours?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Because when we did it at the airport, we had AirPods in.
Yeah.
And that was when it was laggy. But at least we were fucking face to face. I was like, how am I going to have a conversation with you and just wait for like a half a second for it to relay?
Imagine that. Imagine it was like super bad.
Like an international call.
And then we like trying to cut each other off. And just like... But do you remember the vegan pizza?
Yes, dude, that was unreal.
That was literally an international call issue just then. You were just like, yeah, yes.
Because we went across the road and we're like, there's going to be nothing for me here, but I'll go across because you guys want pizza. And then I saw there's 2 vegan pizzas. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And it was like, what, $4 a slice or some shit?
So good. I got some mad. I got like a ravioli on a pizza. So good.
Didn't you get like a white pizza? It was called like a white pizza.
Yeah, it was like 4 cheeses.
Yeah. It looked fucking good.
It was good.
I think I went to bed after that one too.
Yeah, then we went out. Oh, yeah. We went out at night to some karaoke bar and we walked. It was like a pizza bar like that one in Asbury Park where you buy a beer and you get $1 pizza for free.
Love it.
So, yeah, we went there and then Colin and Kenny ended up coming out, even though all of Bearing said they were coming out.
Yeah.
And that was like, they came out like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, fuck, I'm so tired. We didn't get back to the RV till like 5 or 6. And then
I remember you guys coming in. I'm like, oh, fuck,
but when we went in there and the karaoke bar was like at the back of this dive bar. And it was like all these theatre people. Like people that do musicals and shit, and they're just singing like these theatre songs, and I'm walking in, and they're so good, and I'm just like, I'm not, like I already hate karaoke, like I hate doing it, and then now I was just like, I'm not singing a song in front of these people.
Yeah, the only karaoke I've ever done was with the band
in Glasgow.
I think it was only you, me, and Gibbo that were out. Mitch, Rowan was there too, our friend.
Kate was there, Janik was there.
That's right. Yeah, I think, yeah. And so I'd never done karaoke before, and I was like, "Fuck." Gibbo kept buying me drinks. Like,
you're gonna
do it,
fucking do it.
And so I did.
He's like, "Listen here, mate. Weird. Listen here, mate. You better nut up. Get out there."
I was like, "Why am I nervous? I literally just came from a show. This is bizarre." But I think it's like because people that come to our shows, it was our headliner, so like people came because they wanted to see us. Yeah. Nobody wanted to see us at the karaoke bar.
Yeah.
I remember Janik was singing Love Story by Taylor Swift, and he's like, "Open this fucking pit up." And there was like 2 people, and the sound lady was like, "No swearing, please." And he's like, "Sorry." "Baby, just say yes."
Yeah, so good. That was so funny. Oh, shit. I just remember you getting really fucked up. I did a song with Mitch, which was...
Was it Shannon Knoll?
Maybe.
What About Me?
Maybe?
Or whoever sings that song. What about me?
What's his name? The guy that's in the clouds. Yeah.
Barnsey.
Barnsey. So good.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, so New York City. And then remember the next morning, did you wake up when Chris was driving in the morning? Like, I remember waking up and then him like freaking out. And Marshall's so good to have because like whenever you called him, even if he was fucking hungover as shit, he'd just be like, "Yeah, what do you need? Yeah, what do you need?" Yeah. So it's so good to have him. And then Chris was just like, "Marshall, I need your fucking help."
Someone co-pilot, and I think we're all awake, but we're all too like drunk to be able to go up. But then Marshall, who was probably drunker than all of us, was like, "Yep."
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how that guy does it, man. He was like sinking beers right up until we left, and then he like just wakes up and just keeps going, and then keeps drinking. Yeah. I'm like, fuck me, man. But
remember we had that same stamina too on our first US tour. Like it was like every day, it's like, let's fucking go. Let's get it.
I remember, and now I'm just like over the free beer, like the beer that they give us. I just rather drink like nice beer or red wine. Do we have a red wine night on tour? I think we talked about it.
Yeah. Well, we got like White Claws like every fucking 4th night or whatever. I honestly asked me before this podcast started, I think, like, have you been drinking? And honestly, I've had like, there's been a day where I had a beer and I stopped after that. I'm like, nah, I can't do it. And then like maybe a week ago, I had not even. How long have we been home for?
Probably nearly
close to a week actually.
A week and a half.
And so I had like another half of a beer, and I'm like, I had to tip the rest out because I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is foul. And it's like a mountain goat. It's good. Like
all I've drank is when we had that supposed to have that call with Stevie and then I went live.
Yeah.
That night was the only night I really drank. I had like 4 double Jamesons, just like straight liquor. I was like, so now I'm just.
Oh no, you had an old fashioned though, didn't you? As well.
Oh yeah, this is one drink though, but like it was sweet as.
Yeah,
it's good.
Sweet.
Yeah, because there's sugar syrup in it. It's like bitters, sugar syrup, and Jammo.
I thought old fashioned was just like literally just like bourbon or like whiskey, something like on just ice.
Yeah, it basically is that. Right. It's basically like
I had one once.
It's like a shot. This is yeah, it's like a shot, and then like 2 things of bitters, which is like lemon lime. I love lemon lime bitters, but just like the bitters part of, and then sugar syrup, which is just like sugar in water.
They look pretty.
Yeah, Kate made it.
Oh, like whenever, like, because I think Leah likes them as well, unless I'm just maybe thinking of you and Kate.
Yeah, I don't know.
But, this has been not bad though, to be honest. I don't know what it is, but it feels like it tastes like a
Is it? I think it's rice wine, like rice wine mixed with grapefruit. That looks like grapefruit from here.
Really? Grapefruit.
Yeah.
The fuck does it taste like? It's like a good gin and tonic.
You're good.
With like lemon lime bitters as well.
Sorry.
Okay.
No.
Got a guess, haven't we?
No, she's gone now.
Where are you? Are you in the lounge room?
I'm in the corner of the lounge room, yeah. Just
is that
chilling.
where the neon light is above? Or the blue light?
Yeah, the black light. Yeah. So you can't shoot up in the corner here.
Yeah. It's my favourite spot to shoot up to.
Yeah. What were we talking about? We were talking about New York City. Yeah, so then when you left New York, and Chris had to drive out. He told I didn't see this, but did he tell you the story?
No, I was awake. I was listening. Okay. I could hear what was going on. I was just like, please do it because I don't want to wake up.
Yeah, and then Marshall was telling me later. I'm like, how close were we actually? Like, I was like when shit goes bad and you can't be fucked, like you blow it out of proportion so someone helps. But like he was like, no, we were literally like millimeters away from taking this mirror off.
Yeah, on either side.
On either side. And then Gibbo was like, yeah, I didn't actually know if we were going to hit it or not. I was just telling him that we were fine. I'm just like, classic Gibbo when it's like not him. He's just like, yeah, sweet, whatever.
I got plenty of room. What was after that? I can't actually remember. Shock.
So I think we had a show the next day. I remember we were supposed to... Oh, no. That was an 18-hour drive to Florida.
Oh, wow. Did we make it in one?
Did we? I think
no, we didn't because we got to Florida on the day.
Yeah. Where did we stop?
We must have gone like...
No, that's when you drove. That's when you actually first drove.
Oh, true.
You remember? Because we drove we left at like 7 a.m. to get out, and then we stopped somewhere for ages, a little bit. Yeah. And then I think I drove, and then you drove, and I had an edible while you were driving.
That's right. Yeah.
and
I'm like, I wanted a co-pilot so bad. I wanted you to jump in the seat, and I'm like, because Jamie was co-piloting me, and when Jamie co-pilots, he just chucks his headphones in.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. It was like, cause it was like in the AM. I'm like, I need some conversation right now.
Yeah. But yeah,
that was funny watching you though.
18-hour drive. That was a fun night. We stopped somewhere.
At any time, didn't we?
We must have stopped at any time, but like
we stopped at it. Yeah. The reason we stop at Anytime Fitness, guys, is because we 2 of us have gym passes.
Yeah.
Not me.
Just me and Jamie have Anytime Fitness gym passes, so when we're on tour, we get there like 2 a.m. when they're unstaffed after a show, and then we all have showers, which is illegal. And I hope no one from Anytime Fitness is listening to this, but yeah.
But when I guess we'll foreshadow a little bit.
We'll get there.
We'll forget. I think
we'll say we went to one. I feel like we're gonna.
We went to one of them.
Wait. I feel like we're gonna talk for ages, so we should make this like a 2-part.
2-part? Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we'll just keep going. We'll just keep telling stories.
Cool.
We'll do like up until the end of tour, and then we'll do like the rest of the show time.
Yeah, the COVID episode.
But we'll record it all together.
Yeah. So when we left the Anytime, then we drove I can't remember who drove in the morning, but we got to Florida, and that was as soon as we like got there, party time.
Party time. Every time we're in Florida, it's especially now after watching Tiger King, it's definitely the party place to be.
Everyone's been fucking raving on about the show. I haven't seen it. I don't want to watch it because everyone's watching it. Oh, you got a bit of.
Yeah, sorry. Did I die?
No, you're still there.
I'm trying to get my phone charging because it's dying, and that's what's recording the video. All right, I'm on.
Yeah, I've been seeing Tiger King like everywhere. Like
every second tweet.
Yeah, and it's like all that's coming up on my Netflix as well, and I'm like, this guy looks like an idiot. Yeah,
I only watched like the first episode, and then I was like thinking about writing music, so I just went and then Kate ended up watching the whole thing, and I was like, fuck, now I gotta watch it by myself. And then Joey, my housemate, was like, you have to watch it. It's fucking wild. Oh my God.
It's gonna be one of those ones I watch in like 6 months. I'm like, yo,
have
you seen that?
Yeah, that's like me now with Breaking Bad. I'm just like, holy shit, this fuck.
That's one that same thing, man. I haven't watched it. Didn't watch it because I'm like, when was that popular? Was it?
I went like probably like 2 or 3 years out when I finished high school. After I finished high school,
so I would have still been in high school, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah. It was. Just, oh my God.
Yeah. So we got to Florida.
Florida. So as soon as we parked the car there,
I think we went
straight across to the 7-Eleven because the Bearings boys just got there as well, and I'm like, Fitz, you can't buy a beer because he's 20, but I got him a White Claw from 7-Eleven, and I got myself one too.
I just remember like we'll get there, but like I just remember you just like coming to me the next day going, what did I spend my money on last night?
Oh my God, because I looked at my bank and I'm like, what the fuck did I like spend? But I think it was because it was the other night like that we went to Asbury Park and we were playing the skee ball.
Yeah.
And I thought it was $1 per like 5 minutes.
It was $5 per
$5 per like play or some shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this fucking sucks.
But yeah, so I remember we were like, before you went to the 7-Eleven, we were like, I think we just loaded in and then we're like, let's just go find somewhere to drink. Let's just go find a happy hour. And we went to that bloody Mark Wahlberg's burger shop. But we thought, because we thought, remember we were like, oh, this must just be like a Florida thing. Let's just go. And then like 3 days later, we saw like 10 of them. I was like, fuck, we just wasted all this money at this fucking place.
Well, I mean, you and me didn't. We cleaned up scraps.
Yeah. But I bought 2 beers, but
true.
Whatever.
Coors Lights. And that's when we found out that Coors Lights
have
the little mountains on the label. When the beer is cold, they're blue. And when they're like warm, they're not.
Yeah.
Which is like
someone was telling us the same. Maybe it was Marshall or something. If it's blue, something. I don't know. I don't fucking know. That was
if it's blue, it'll do.
And then, yeah.
Oh shit. So So got to Orlando. We had a bit of a feed.
We went to like 2, and then we went to that other one near the Abbey, the other bar.
Oh yeah, that was cool. And the bartender there, didn't she end up coming to the show?
No, I think Marshall got her number, but she didn't end up coming to the show.
Marshall, okay, right. Because I think we were trying to get like a free drink or something, but
we're always looking for a bargain.
Always looking for a steal.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we got. I don't even know if like where the night went from there, like how it turned. I know it was intentionally.
I can tell you.
Yeah.
So we left that bar. We had to go back to do something. I think Bearings were looking for us or something like that.
We had to move our gear, I think.
That's right. Yeah, we probably had to move our gear. So then we came back, and Doug and Ryan and Mike went somewhere else, and then Fitz and Colin and Brandon came into our RV, and that's when you went across the 7-Eleven and got the White Claws. And Gibbo bought those a box of those Bud Light seltzers.
Ooh, which are pretty good.
Which are not bad. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
They're on par, I would say, in my mind, with White Claw.
I thought they had some decent flavors that were like, some of them had more flavor than the actual White Claws, I think.
Yeah, it was like, to me, it tasted like, not tasted like, but it felt like the texture of, when you, in high school, when you, they make those drinks for sports day, like the massive drink canister, like of the orange drink or whatever, and everyone gets the drink, and it's just like super strong and like, or like super diluted. But like you taste the granules though. That hasn't like actually Like the stuff hasn't actually dissipated in there. That's what it tasted like.
Cordial.
Yeah. That's what it tasted like. So
I think you're lagging a smidge.
Am I? Yeah. Am I coming through? Might be my Wi-Fi.
It sound like Optimus Prime to me. It's like
at least I got the recording on mine, so you just...
Okay, you got the recording.
Yeah,
I'll just try and piece together what you're saying.
Yeah, you'll have to listen to the podcast to get what I'm actually saying. So we drank... I remember we finished that box of Bud Light seltzers. And
I don't even remember
this was before the show started. So it was like an hour and a half. We finished that box in.
We didn't have dinner that night as well.
Yeah. Yes.
Crucial point.
And then me and you didn't really see each other. Like we saw each other, but we didn't really hang out till the end of the night.
Yeah.
Like we went in, and I think you saw some people that you knew, and then I saw some people that I knew. So we were just like hanging out with people.
Yeah.
And then we played, and I just remember being on stage thinking, I am so drunk right now. I'm like, how are we even playing? Like, I don't even remember seeing the boys before the show.
Yeah. I remember just like going in that little side like area where the gear is stored, and I was like, ready? Let's go.
I just remember Nate was taking a photo behind us, and I just went up to him and going, I'm so fucked up. I'm so drunk. I don't even know what's happening.
Oi, Stacey.
Oi, Stacey. You want to get fucked? You want to get fucked up?
That's what it was. That's a funny like stage, that one too. I saw some footage from people who are up on it's like a balcony bit, a really small balcony bit. I didn't even know there was a balcony until I saw the footage.
I think that was like the Sleep On It boys. That was like the green
it's like
green
5
area.
people up there.
I'm just gonna pour a wine. You keep talking.
Yeah, can you just wiggle the cord for me a little bit? I don't know what's happened, but
which cord?
Something sound your microphone cord or something.
All right, hold on.
I don't know.
I'm coming through clear at my end, but hold up.
Just like, yeah, it sounds like you're being electrocuted while I'm talking to you, but that's whatever.
Oh.
Marv in Home Alone too. So I remember like parts of the night. I remember like Doug seeing me in the crowd when he was playing, and he's like, "Jake, get me a White Claw."
Yeah.
And so I got him a White Claw, and then
I remember seeing a video of you walking to the stage and just holding it in front of him, just like, Doug, take it.
Actually, I remember getting back to the RV. I think I was standing outside the RV, like, I don't know, we were drinking or smoking or something. I don't remember.
To be honest.
Then we got...
No, sorry, go.
Then I got back in, and the people that I was with, like, left. I don't know if I told them to leave or someone else told them to leave, but I just think I just passed out and went straight to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that's a long time between, like, what you just told me, you giving Doug a beer, and that happening is probably about 4 hours.
Yeah. I like parts of it are like, I remember parts of it in my head, but I'm like, I can't put a timeline together. I remember being here, I remember being there, I remember drinking over there, I remember drinking that.
I remember just standing by merch pretty much for the rest of the night. And I think we had merch.
Actually, no. Fitz was standing with you at one point.
Yeah, I just remember talking to random people. Just like whatever, and then I remember getting our buyout, and I came up to you and Gibbo, and I said, and I just went and bought 3 White Claws because our buyout was like $5 and White Claws were $5, and I went and bought, and I'm like, hey Gibbo, do you want this White Claw, or do you want your buyout? And he's like, oh, well, I want the White Claw. I'm like, well, this is your buyout because I just bought you this drink with your,
because you already bought them.
With your buyout. And he's like, fuck it, whatever. Because I knew he was drunk and I wouldn't care. And then I said the same thing to you and you just went,
I was at the bar, like whatever. I was right next to you at the bar talking to my friends or whatever. And then you like leaned over the bar with the money, and then you got the White Claws, and then I don't think you even said anything to me. You just
I think I said, this is your buyout. Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, exactly. I definitely didn't need any more. Yeah. Because I think I bought like a 12-pack or something of like mango.
No, you bought like maybe, but I remember you bought three tall cans of mango.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And I bought like some for Fitz as well. So like, and by the time we got back to the RV, all the Bearings boys were actually hanging out at our RV prior. and they love a White Claw as well, so they just polished off the pack that I bought, and I'm like, fuck.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it always. I remember we got someone gave us a pack, and they still came into our RV, and like I was just like, fuck it, I'm drunk. Yeah. I think I just like sharing when I'm like. I want everyone. Totally. We both want everyone to be having a good time, so we just give it like for whatever. We'll get it back
when I'm having a good time. So I'm like, if I'm feeling, I'm like, yo, drink up.
Yeah,
get on my level.
Exactly. That's what.
And then the next day was, I don't know if you have anything more from that night, but
that's when I accidentally motorboated that girl.
You want to elaborate on that?
Did you? Well, that's when I was coming back to the RV at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Because Billie Eilish had played that night, like around the corner from where we played. Yeah, and then I think this group of people must have been at that show because they definitely weren't at our show.
Right.
And then this girl was like, "Catch me!" And then I turned around, she's running towards me. I was like, "All right, whatever." And then she runs to me, and I just assumed that scene from Dirty Dancing or whatever it is, Patrick Swayze, like picks her up, and then I'm just gonna. She's running towards me, and then I go, "All right, I got this. I'm fucking drunk. I could do this." And like I kneel down to get her from her waist. Yeah. I told Kate this story, and she wasn't impressed, but she's just like, I started it with, so I motorboated this girl in Florida.
Oh no.
Anyway, so she's running towards me, and then I go to pick her up, and like I just didn't get the leverage, and I didn't have like the strength to lift her up.
Was she heavy?
Well, she's just like a normal weight, but I just had drank too much. I didn't have the strength anymore. She jumped, and then her breast just went right into my face, and I was like, God no. Oh, that was funny. And then the next morning I was like, Marsha goes, "Do you remember motorboating that girl last night?" I was like,
damn it. That's right. I do recall.
Did you, how in your mind, because like the next show was the last show of the tour, right? Yeah. So the next morning we wake up when we drive to Atlanta, which we've done every time we've played Florida. We drive to Atlanta the next day, and I remember waking up and we were like an hour out when we woke up because I was so tired, and we got to that Magnolia Plantation.
I didn't even know what that was. I didn't even know what a plantation is.
So a plantation was like where the slaves used to work in the fields and pick all the shit for. That's what a plantation was, where all the slaves used to work. Right.
Oh, sorry. By the way, your mic has only just started getting better. I can only hear it now. So.
Okay, that's fine. So I have the recording, so it's all good.
Yeah.
You might have been.
I was able to keep up with the conversation.
Yeah. Oh, well, we're doing pretty good. Anyway. So we get there, and like everyone that gets out, we're just like, where the fuck are we? Like, and then we walk in, and we're just like, holy shit, this place is wild. It's so weird, like how vast America is, and like everywhere we stop, we've always stopped at different places. Like
it's even funnier, like when you don't see where you drive, and then you wake up, like. So like you and me, I think you were like pretty rough that morning, same as me, but. Was that where you vomited or where I vomited?
Oh no, that was the morning I vomited because we both vomited because that's right. Because after motorboating, I ate the rest of that like fucking kilo of cheese balls that those girls got me. Yep. And then I woke up in the morning and we're outside the Anytime Fitness. Yeah. And like 5 people came and parked their car and went into the gym while I was outside at like 7 a.m. behind the RV, just like. And there's like really slow, like orange, just like clumps just coming out of my mouth.
There's no food in there. There's just like
exactly
like powder.
Oh, it was just like I ate the whole thing, and like let it dissipate in my mouth, and the remnants were just on the floor. It was so gross.
Fuck. Because
I felt
so when we got to the plantation, you guys all went out and like because it was like a shop or something.
It was like a Shell petrol station with like a little fucking shop to it.
Yeah. So I got out and like had a bit of a spew. And it was just like stomach bile or whatever. But the only thing I remember from that was Marshall buying
that T-shirt.
what did it say?
It was like Tommy Hilfiger ripoff, but it said Tommy Hillbilly, and it had the Confederate flag on the front.
That's funny.
He was just like, I probably shouldn't wear this in Atlanta.
We bought it there.
Yeah. No. I think we were like crossing over into like Atlanta, so we were like in the, because Florida's like, I remember talking to someone who was like, Florida is where all the sins of America are forgiven.
Right.
So you could be like anyone in Florida. I think that's why Tiger King is in Florida.
Okay. So we get to, every time we played Atlanta, we played the same venue. It's called the Masquerade, and it's got like three rooms.
Three rooms.
The Purgatory.
And we've never left the venue.
Heaven and Hell.
Yeah, Purgatory, Heaven and Hell. Yep.
Each of the
Heaven's the big room. Hell's the medium room where we played with Con. Purgatory's where we've played with like Pacific.
First time we went to that venue, we saw what's that fucking heavy band in the big room?
Ghostman? Oh no. Fuck, what are they called?
Something like satanic and like some like Scandinavian name, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're
this is gonna kill me. I don't actually know the band, but
they're called.
We've told this story so many times.
They had a snake on the thing. They played down
Behemoth.
I'm not gonna remember. Some satanic name.
And
Behemoth.
Time we saw Ghostman.
Yeah. And this time, I don't think anyone played that room. No one played that room, but someone was playing the room next to us. Yes, go. Go.
We so after we played the show, like we were all fucking in a bad way. I think just mostly me, to be honest. I think the rest of you guys handled it a lot better than I did.
I was
just got up on stage and
I couldn't. That night, I was just like, I'm excited to play, but I'm tired, and I just want to be in my own bed tonight. Like I was excited to play.
That's the best, because we always play Atlanta after Florida, and we always go hard in Florida. So Atlanta always suffers show-wise, but that's the perfect time because it's the only venue we get on tour usually that has catering.
Yes, and
they have like the same kind of catering every time. It's like a big vegan like bean, rice, veggie mix, which is amazing. Like the other, like the non-vegans had like really nice like, chicken.
Yeah, it's so good.
Everything looked amazing.
I ate so much. I remember eating so much, and then I was like, I'm going to get a to-go box and just put it in the fridge in the RV.
Because you did that last time, and I was like, fuck, that's not a bad idea.
Especially because like, I was like, at this point, I was like, we're going to be recording for like another 5 weeks after the tour. So I'm just going to save my money and have another meal ready to go tomorrow. Then I don't have to spend money tomorrow. And then I'll be sweet. Like, but yeah.
And so after we played the show, it was just like, it was a really like lackluster show.
I mean, it was fun. It was just like no one really goes off, and like it's never really gone off for us. It's like we go there, people are like, you played really good, but we don't really like sell merch there. I don't think we'd really sell, even though Marshall sold one of our vinyls for like $80 or something because it was signed. I'm like, hello. I think he didn't put a price on it, and the guy's like, how much? And Marshall's like 80. The guy's like 60. He's like, all right. Fuck.
He must have been so bored, just
it's so good. Yeah, and I think I was like, I'm gonna drive tonight, so I didn't really drink. I didn't even have a drink. I think I just had waters that whole night. So,
and after that, like, because I didn't go to merch, and I was like feeling so like crud, and then so I was in the RV, and then someone said to come to merch because someone wanted to meet, and it was just like this guy that's come to like every time we've played. And so, like, I shook his hand, and I met, like, his ex or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, the next day, I'm like, fuck, I shook his hand. I didn't wash my hands. But that was before anything happened.
Oh.
That was... Like, we went...
Yeah. Keep going, sorry.
Okay, so we went back to the RV or whatever, and it took... Actually, no, what am I thinking? Missed a huge part. We went to have showers.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
All of us... The 5 of us went to have showers after our set.
So before any of you guys came in, I was waiting for someone to come in. I think I was waiting to take a shit at that point, actually, and 2 people were showering. And so someone comes in, and he's like, are these like toilets taken? I'm like, yeah, dude, so I'm just waiting to take a shit. And then he's like, oh, damn.
Did you say that to him?
Yeah. And then he walked out, and then Jamie comes in right after him. He's like, do you know who the fuck that was? And I'm like...
Oh, was that when I was waiting in there as well? Or did Jamie say that twice?
No, he said it twice, yeah. because he said it to you guys as well.
Okay.
And then he's like, T.I. I'm like, T.I. Fuck, true.
Because when I came in later, he came in again to check the toilet was free. And I think the toilet was free. And then we're like, yeah, just go in, it's fine. And I was just like, oh, it's just some rapper guy because there was a rap thing next to our thing.
Because you were waiting, and I think you let him in.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, go, piss. I think he was on the phone. He's like, thanks, man. I really need a piss. I was like, whatever. And then he came out, and then he went in, and then Jamie's like, do you know who that is? And I'm like, no idea. And I'm like, some rapper, and he's like, it's T.I. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've never listened to his music, but like I knew of him obviously because he was
the name,
he's
knew
huge.
The face after I knew what his name was, and then we looked up T.I. songs on the drive the next day, and I'm like, fuck, your songs suck.
But I remember before I came to the bathroom, I went out the back to go to the RV, and there was like 2 Bentleys out the back.
That's right.
I'm like, what?
Blocking everyone.
I'm like, who the hell brings a Bentley to this venue? Like, it's fucking crazy. Go in there, go in the bathroom, let him in to piss. He comes out. I'm like, was it good? And he just looks at me like,
good shit, big boy.
He's just like, what? Cool, whatever. And he just walks out. And then I'm just like, sick. Just asked T.I. if his piss was good. And then
so you have a shower, but I did wank in there, so there might be a little bit of cum on the floor. But
yeah, because I shot it from the shower to the toilet. Because the band Fleshlight wasn't available at the time.
He's like, oh yeah, sick. He was on phone calls the whole night. Did you see that?
That guy. I went in and watched probably 30 seconds, and I literally walked into the room, and he just reeked of weed. I'm like, this is legit. This is like a legit Atlanta hip hop club right now.
Anytime a big rapper is in town, because when we played Philly last time and we saw fucking Jaden and Willow Smith and Will Smith and Jada Pinkett.
That's right.
All the VIP area where like Will was sitting.
Yeah. Just
everyone was smoking weed.
Everyone was smoking a joint. I remember like everyone was smoking, and then me and Miguel and Ricky were like, do you want to smoke a joint? Like Miguel had one. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then Miguel lit it, and then the security guy's like, there's kids here, man. He's like, are you serious? He's like, literally everyone else is smoking.
I'm pretty sure he called it prior. He's like, watch me get in trouble for this. And then he went to do it, and he's like, classic.
And then we went down. Then he's like, you want to go downstairs and smoke it? So and then we went into the pit. Like we went into the middle of the pit, and we smoked the joint watching Willow Smith. And she was like, rip
really?
it. She was like, I was like getting high as she was like ripping this guitar solo, and I was just like, I'm like, what the hell? This is the whip your hair back and forth girl just ripping this guitar solo. I was like, this is wild. This is wild.
That was a surreal night, because I remember when Will was like standing up in like the VIP, because the VIP spot kind of is on a balcony for those of you playing along at home, and it walks right. It's like right next to the green room, and like where all the staff and like people of the venue work and security or whatever. So I think rumor started when like someone was in the green room. Will Smith walked past it and then like gave like a wave or like a thumbs up or like a.
I think the first one was, I think I was in the green room, but I was facing like the shower, so away from the door. And then I think Seaway had just finished, and then Ken was doing this random ass pose, and I'm like, wait, let me take a photo of you. And so he's just standing like this in the door, just like with his face down, like. Right. And then I'm like, let me take a photo. And it took like 10 seconds for my Hooji to like load. I'm like, come on, just wait. And then, and then Miguel was like sitting here on this side, and he just goes, and then I'm like, what the hell was that? And he's like, I just like air fist bump Will Smith. I'm just like, what the
oh my, that's right, yeah.
And then Ken just goes, I was doing this pose while Will Smith walked past.
And then from that moment on, everyone was talking like, dude, Will Smith is here. And then we're all just like, fucking, where is he?
Because I remember when we rocked up, we were like, Will Smith's he's got to be here. It's Philly. Like, we're singing like the Fresh Prince anthem.
West Philadelphia.
Exactly. And we're like, he's got to be here.
Yeah.
And then he was, which is wild.
It was still bizarre because I remember like he was up in the rafters, like I was saying before, like where the green room was, like kind of just moving around from spot to spot, just like, you know, watching his kids kick ass, whatever. Yeah. And then all of us and everyone else there too was just like, how close can we get to Will Smith? Yeah. Which is such gross.
Man, I was like 4 meters. I was 4 meters, bro. 4 meters.
Yeah. And then we're just like trying to get closer and closer. And then Ricky, the driver for WithCon, was like taking photos, like footage of Will. And then the security guard like looked at him and was like, dude, who are you with again? And Ricky's like, oh, no one, man. He's like, can you fucking leave? And Ricky's like, yeah.
I love
You got some footage though.
I love Ricky. He's so good.
I miss him. I miss Ricky. When did you get him to drive?
Shout out to @RickyFries on Instagram. Everyone go follow him.
Fucking legend. We should hang on, what was I gonna say? No, when we went back down to the RV, we loaded our gear out, whatever, about to leave, and then I think we had a few drinks. Obviously, I think you were more drunk than the rest of us.
Wait, are we talking about Atlanta or Philly? Yeah.
And you're like, I'm just going to go check something. I'm like, mate, you're not checking it. You're just going to go try and talk to Will Smith. Because Will Smith had a conversation with Chris.
And I'm like...
And then we're like...
I got to get a combo. I'm going to hold a piece of chicken and just walk past.
and then me and fucking... then me and the rest of us were just like, where the fuck's Bassy? Like, he's just... And then you eventually came. But I'm pretty sure that's what you were doing. I think you were...
Yeah, I mean, I was going to go do an idiot check, but, like, that was my main concern. Yeah. It's just totally. Like I couldn't leave. Mitch fist bumped him. Chris talked to him. I couldn't leave without at least like getting the acknowledgement that he knows I exist.
Yeah, exactly.
But I didn't.
And I heard that he like loves being famous. Like loves.
I think he just loves it. Like not attention, but just like he is happy to go out of his way.
Totally. Yeah. He's not a snob or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which you definitely have the right to be when you're at that level, because like. Household name, like
bro, he's been famous since he was like 14 or 15 years old,
yeah.
Probably earlier. And now, what is he like? Nearly 50, and he's that's like fucking nearly 40 years.
He was my height. That's the thing that like blew me away. I'm like, this dude is my height. I've seen him in Suicide Squad, jacked as shit. Thought he was huge. And it was funny because like I never wanted to meet Will Smith. There was never someone I was like, I need to meet him.
But you have the opportunity now. Like, you should at least, because we're never going to see him ever again.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's the funny thing, because I'm like, I didn't necessarily want to meet him, but I was like, well, that's something I didn't know I needed to do. I'm like, that's something I never thought I would have wanted, but I'm glad that we have that story to tell, because it's fucking funny. So the last two tours is when we've met two famous rappers / actors. Yeah. They're both rapper actors.
True, he was in Hurt Locker or something like that. Jamie was telling me. I should watch it just so I know.
Get Hard.
Get Hard, not Hurt Locker.
With Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart.
That's right.
As well. But fuck yeah, what a wild ride.
Yeah. So Atlanta.
Back to Atlanta.
And then I was like,
so we hadn't even left yet, and sorry.
No, and then we waited. I think the show was over. You were tired, and I think because I remember earlier in the day, I'm like, you're gonna stay up and co-pilot me, or like, see how far we get. I'm like, I reckon I could drive the whole way, but we'll see what happens. Because we had like an 8-hour drive. We had a day off, but it was only.
We had to wait for all the cars to get out of the fucking park first.
That's right.
There was this huge bus, like this converted school bus, like that. One of the opener.
Yeah, Maggie had
the school bus, and like because of like where the Bentleys were and stuff, like and like how many we had an RV and like trailers everywhere.
Yeah,
it was like a 50-point turn to like get out of this tiny little thing, and like by that time we're like it was so late. But you're like, yeah, I'm still gonna drive. I'm still gonna go through.
Yeah,
and so you took the reins, and I think
I'm just. You co-pilot for like an hour or so.
And I went to bed.
But, no, and then you went to bed. I was like, "Fuck," and then Marshall came up the front, and he's like, "How you doing?" And I'm like, "Man, I feel pretty good." Like to be honest, we drove 40 minutes.
I remember,
and then we went to Waffle House.
We went
to Waffle House. Chelsea.
What's her fucking name? No, was it Kelsey? I think it was Kelsey.
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Yeah, Chelsea. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, dude. What a legend. Like, we've been to Waffle House once. I don't think Gibbo had been yet, because we went the first tour before he got there.
We did stop at a Waffle House, but there was no one, like, I think it was closed for some reason. Like, the night before, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, well, so Waffle House, pretty much, for everyone who, like, has no idea. Sorry, wow, what a big noise. It's like dirty diner food. Like, it looks your stuff that you guys get looks great. Like, it's
not really dirty. It's just like cheap. Like you pay for what you get. Like the hash browns are nice. They taste great. Like,
I mean, like when you went, because you guys like ordered steak or like
Yeah, the boys ordered steak. I think I got like 4 servings of hash browns, and then I ate like 1 serving. I was like, I'm so hungry, but I
it's
wasn't
so cheap
hungry.
though. It's like $2 for like a hash brown, but like not an Aussie hash brown. It's like this shredded.
It's the same thing, but like theirs is not as fried like that Waffle House one. Because hash brown is literally just shredded potato, and then they put it in the shape in Australia.
Yeah.
And then
so they
fry
just have
it like
in
in
a
that
fucking
shape.
circle thing, right?
But it's just literally like shredded potato, and then they chuck that
Yeah.
on the hot plate, and then they fry it up, and then they give it to you.
Yeah. And so the servings are pretty good too. Like you can get 2 like massive hash browns like this big, like the size of my head, I guess, for like $4. And
yeah,
it's the best place to stop when you're hungry or whatever, and you're like on the road. Cause like
do you remember?
Yeah.
That I thought I was so hungry, but I'd had 2 massive dinners. Like I ate my food. I ate the catering, and then I ate my whole catering box after the set. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
Because we were meant to save that for the next day too. Yeah. We were meant to save it for the next day. Then we're like, no, I think we'll eat them now.
Yeah.
Because I think we had some time after the set too. Because like I said before, like everyone was trying to get out of the thing, so we're just like, we'll just wait here for like an hour.
We're bored. I'm like, I'm not getting high, so I might as well eat.
So when so we ended up going to Waffle. I don't even know why. I think we were like.
And I think Jamie wanted us to stop, and I was like, "Fuck it, we got a day off."
Jamie, I think, and I was like, "Fuck."
We got a day off tomorrow. Whatever, I don't care.
Yeah. And so we had like all this like cheap like fucking coffee too. It was great. And so Chelsea, what a legend! The server who was working at Waffle House, like, probably gets the shittest wage ever, but like went above and beyond for everybody.
For sure.
She was calling. Who was she calling? Baby, or like honey?
I think Marshall for sure. Marshall loves playing it up.
I thought it was Gibbo as well, maybe, but like I think she was like, she was calling, like, was it? I think it was like something like, I don't know. It felt like so personal. Like it was almost like she may sort of like said like, yeah, sexy. What do you want?
Yeah, I just remember those girls being in the corner, and we walked in, and there was literally like music blaring in this diner, and we're just like, this is sick. We just sat down at the table. And she's like, what do you guys want? And we're like talking. And she's like, where are you guys from? Like, Australia. She's like, this is your first time here? We're like, yeah, it's the first time ever. Like, at this Waffle House.
First time at this location.
And then we like ordered all our food. And then I just remember like we got our food. And then those girls were leaving. And then we were playing up. We started speaking even thicker Australian just to
what's up, lad?
Just to be funny or whatever. And then she got a text from those girls. I remember going, who are those boys? Are they from Australia? And then she asked us about she sent them the band name and shit. And I was like, that's so funny.
Because like, I remember they're really cute.
I remember because we just like spoke to them for like a second, and they're like, where are you guys from? And then someone said Australia, and I was looking at them, and their faces were just like
just changed like instantly. Like,
Australia.
It's like, we're interesting now.
Yeah. I was just like, this is so funny because I remember like being told by people like American women just like froth Australian accent, and I'm like, it is the most disgusting.
It's
like,
so rank.
Whenever we're in an airport and I hear like someone go, "Hey, Shaz,"
you're like,
I've never heard anyone say that, but it's like, hey, can you get me
Stacey? But yeah,
you know what I mean? So like it's the same. Like whenever you've heard it, like, you're just
when you hear an Aussie in a movie, it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Like you're not real. Don't try to be serious. But like they were regulars at this Waffle House too. They go to Chelsea. They're like, oh yeah, what's my order? And she's like, oh, 2 of these with double cream and 3 butters and fucking a side of tomatoes or whatever. And she's like,
And I remember
and they had her number, so like they were.
They're like, we come in here every week, and I'm like, holy shit, man.
And it was late as fuck too. It was like 1:30 a.m. or something crazy. And like you guys,
I think it was like it just got to midnight because I remember.
Oh, did it?
I remember driving through the whole night.
Right. I was like,
and watching the clock.
This is bizarre because who would come here? Because it was dead. No one else was in there. Yeah. Who would come there at that time every week with their friends for a party?
Wild. And I just remember, Marsha going, "Hey, can we buy these mugs?" She's like, right. I won't look if you want to take one home.
She's like, they're not for sale, but I also won't tell you off. I won't be mad if one of them goes missing or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, sick. No, but
and then we went to the other Waffle House and they were for sale.
Were they?
Yeah, someone bought the second one.
No, me and Marshall took one each. Marshall didn't take his home.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure because we asked at the second one when we sat at the bar, and we're like, how much are they? And then they gave a price.
Oh yeah, because they probably had heaps of like.
But
people.
I think you guys had already taken 2 then, I guess, from the first one.
Yeah, and we were just like sick. Lucky we took one.
Should we? I mean, this is already an hour.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do a 2-parter, should we just cap this one here and then just go straight into the COVID goss for the next one?
Oh, I mean, we still got heaps of time. We still got. Oh, actually, we can start the next.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
it's an hour and 2 minutes for this video recording.
Yeah, I reckon this is good. I reckon leave them antsy like the next episode. You find out what happened when Bayern was on the road and everything went to shit.
This is the saucy part. So the rest of this that we just talked about is probably not what anyone wants to hear.
Yeah. Nah, this is what the people want to hear, I reckon. All right. Are we gonna pretend sign off and then wait like 5 seconds and then just keep talking?
Yeah, we'll sign off.
Oh yeah, that's it for this time. But
shit. Good
next
episode.
time,
good to be back.
make sure you tune in next time. Whoa.
Where we're in the same clothes talking about the same shit.
Yeah.
All right. Peace out, guys. Thanks for watching the episode.
Stay safe. Stay indoors. Don't cough on anybody. And if you don't need to go outside, don't go outside. Okay?
Happy quarantine, motherfucker.
Tell your mama I love her. And tell her to crowd surf at one of our shows whenever we can play a show again. Yeah. Bye.